Hi everyone, I hope you're well, thanks for clicking on the video. We have a fight in Cory Sandhagen versus Song Yadong in tonight's main event. This is one of the fights from the UFC's unspoken 135 Grand Prix. If you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of key matchups at 135, all within the same kind of time frame. We had Aldo versus Merab, we've got Sandhagen here versus Song Yadong, we've got Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan, and of course we've got the fight for the title between TJ and Aljo. So I expect both of these guys to come in here and just completely throw caution to the wind, especially Song Yadong. This man has dynamite in his hands at 135, right? And the guy, if you ask Uriah Faber, he'll tell you he's got his next 135-pound champion on his hands, right? And if you watch Song Yadong fight, it's pretty much impossible to deny that. How could you argue with it? The guy is a killer on the feet, man. It's kind of silly, especially when you consider how young he is, right? I think he's like 24, maybe 25. It's pretty incredible. I first started to take notice of this guy after his victory over Chito Vera. I think Chito was in like a 3 or 4 fight win streak at the time. Granted, the decision could have gone either way, but it was an absolute war, right? And he walked away with the victory. Right now, Song Yadong's on a 3-fight win streak and he's coming fresh off a knockout over Marlon Moraes, which was absolutely killer. It's like the most brutal uppercut I'd seen in a while, right? So he's coming in this fight with a lot of confidence. He also holds a massive knockout over Perez, who's someone I rate really highly in the division, right? Someone else who has really crisp boxing, he's super deadly and technical on the feet. And like I said, Song Yadong holds a brutal knockout over that guy. But despite all of these amazing qualities that Song Yadong has, he's a killer, he's young, he's got bombs in his hands and he trains out of a great team. I really think he's up against it here against Cory Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen is the unsung hero at 135 in my opinion, and people are forgetting about how amazing this guy is inside that cage. He's had a few tough losses lately, right? But look at who he's been fighting. He fought Peter Yan in a fight of the night. Granted, you know, it was clear that Peter Yan won that fight, but Cory proved that he deserved to be in there with the elite of the division, because I don't think anyone can deny Peter Yan being the elite of the division. That man is a killer. And Cory Sandhagen stayed in there with him for the full 5 rounds. And prior to losing that fight against Peter Yan, he was in another fight of the night against TJ Dillashaw, where in my opinion he won that fight, right? The judges will say TJ won, but if you watch that fight back, Cory Sandhagen, the Sandman himself, put on a clinic. You know what I mean? He caused so much damage to TJ in that fight. Granted, TJ was able to implement some of his wrestling, but I was under the impression that judges are supposed to score damage over control, right? So I truly believe, and most of the MMA community believe, that Cory won that fight. And another tough defeat he had in recent times, right, was against Aljamain Sterling, where Aljo was just able to take us back early, and that's where Aljo lives, right? He is a backpack. So once a man like that gets your back, you know, especially so early on, you've not even got a sweat on yet, you're in deep trouble. So he loses that fight as well, right? But we cannot forget, this man is an assassin. Not too long ago, he was knocking out Frankie Edgar in probably the knockout of the year, in my opinion. Like, it's got to be considered. That flying knee was just out of nowhere. It was crisp, perfect. And the walk-off as well, it was just perfect. It was a beautiful knockout. And the way Cory moves around the cage, man, it's like he can set up shots like that before you even see it coming, right? And he's so quick on the feet, like you really have no chance. And he even has a more impressive knockout victory over Marlon Moraes than Song Yadong, right? And he did it before Song Yadong, before Marlon Moraes lost his mojo. And I hate to say that because Marlon Moraes is a killer, but you know, he was on the tail end of a bunch of losses when he fought Song, whereas he was more fresh when he fought Cory the first time. So my prediction for the fight, and it is a hard one because Song Yadong is a killer, man. I rate that kid so highly, and I do genuinely believe he'll be fighting for the title sooner rather than later. I just think he's up against it against Cory, man. Cory's movement, the way he dips in and out, he's explosive. I think he's going to be a bit too much for Song too soon. I've got him winning by a unanimous decision, or maybe even like a stoppage in the 4th or 5th round, just because Song Yadong hasn't been there. Cory has. He's battle tested in those rounds. So yeah, that's my prediction for the fight. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe for more UFC content. Give me your thoughts on the fight in the comment section down below. I'd love to talk to you about it. And I think that's everything. Thanks, guys.